Surprisingly, for such a mainstream pop culture powerhouse, The Simpsons always seemed to struggle in the video game department. There were many classics for sure, but most still mediocre despite their reputation. So instead of attempting further embarrassment of original ideas, developers were instead tasked with the tall order of creating the parody era of Simpsons video games, with the likes of Simpsons wrestling, skateboarding, and Grand Theft Autoing trying to ride off of the success of what was cool and hip at the time. But a Crazy Taxi knockoff? Really? I mean, I understand that it was an arcade hit that landed at the right moment when the concept of job simulator gaming was entering the norm, but aside from featuring Offspring on the soundtrack, I never understood the hype for this one. The open world chaos and simple yet addicting nature of the gameplay is perfect in short bursts, but on a home console, there is just no staying power for me. Now, admittedly, I missed all of that growing up. However, The Simpsons Road Rage is one of the very first PS2 games that I ever played. So, as you might expect, I've been eagerly awaiting the day that I finally got around to reviewing this one. Because I have a lot to say. As the story goes, Mr. Burns has purchased all of the public transport in Springfield and littered the streets with dangerous radioactive buses, so Homer and everyone else start up their own taxi services. That's all you get, but it's all you really need. Road Rage is the primary arcade mode. Drop down into the streets and race against the clock, delivering pedestrians to their destinations for quick cash and bonus rewards. It's simple and mindless, but quite cathartic, thanks to the destructible elements sprinkled through the various environments. Can I just say, 3D Simpsons games have some of the most charming graphics. The visuals here perfectly capture the look of the show, if you ask me. Starting out, we only have access to Evergreen Terrace, but as you reach new earnings thresholds, you can purchase new locations such as the dam and the power plant, or spend the cash on additional characters. The full cast here offers an excellent selection, and I love all of the references. I swear, that's half of the appeal in playing Simpsons games. Hey, I get that reference! And everyone has a cute little introduction as well, which is great to see. Except for Marge. Marge scares me a little.
Everyone better stay out of my way.
I'll crump with you, sweetie pie.
Hey, that's not the only nightmare present here. There is something wrong with my Willy. Man, he is tripping on the good shit right now. Dude is seeing through dimensions or something.
That was the best trip I ever had.
Racing all over the various locations gets repetitive incredibly quick, collecting the same people and taking them to the same locations just to hear the same lines of dialogue.
Can you take me home? Thieves stole my police car.
Did you know that thieves stole Chief Wiggum's police car? That's the same problem I have with Crazy Taxi. There is such a lack of variation in the process, it really does begin to feel like a production line of scripted events, and with so few landmarks, I just get sick of it. Thankfully, Road Rage handles this a bit better by jamming as many iconic locations into the various worlds, but it all still feels so boxed in. Pre-release versions of the game indicate that it was originally planned to feature one huge sprawling map that covers all 6 locations seamlessly within a single open world. Now, this would have been very interesting. Shame that the idea was ultimately scrapped due to the PS2's system limitations compared to the Xbox. The frame rate already tanks it hard if there is too much carnage on screen, so I would have hated to see it try to run the full map. Though, that doesn't stop the game acting like it's trying to load the entire thing every time you start a level. This shit takes so long, though I have seen much worse. Even prepubescent Jack was having a bitch about this one. The worst part about tedious and frequent loading is that what you get for your trouble is hardly ever worth it. One thing I will give it credit for is being a lot faster in pace and incredibly sharp to control, which is a huge improvement over the abysmally stiff, tank-like driving in Crazy Taxi. Yeah, I said it. This shit sucks ass, people. The absolute fucking state of it. Now granted, the physics in The Simps ain't much better if we're being honest, and it certainly doesn't help when these bastard buses ram your tailpipe raw and get you stuck inside of the fucking walls. Ugh, let me out. Thieves stole his police car. I'm trying to get him home, and this shit is really starting to piss me off. But it is at the very least drivable, for Christ's sake. Most of the time, driving is a fluid and fun experience. Big jumps are radical entertainment. It's a rewarding challenge to learn the terrain and find shortcuts. Road Rage even offers a relaxing Sunday drive mode that allows you to explore at your own pace and take in all of the sights, which will help you to gain a better appreciation for the level of detail tucked away in certain locations. It's just that the main gameplay here is such a damn slog. It causes me great distress to think that I actually wasted my formative years completing this game 100%, and somehow, somewhere along the line, I lost the save file, which means that I have to do it all again. Listen, if I'm off a bridge within the next week, then you all know why. Thank you all for being a strong and loyal audience these past 6 years. Because I just don't think I can go through the trauma again. Oh, I'm bloody sick of that shit. It's exhausting for the soul. So let's switch over to mission mode for a little while. It's nice to have an alternative playstyle to accompany the primary gameplay, but all this really offers are some incredibly basic, almost tutorial level objectives with the various characters. Hit these objects, race to this location, and that's about it. And because they're all so brief, it often takes longer to load the mission itself than it does to actually complete it. What a disgrace. There are only 10 of these missions in the game, and the final demolition derby at Burns' mansion is passable. And our reward for doing all of that? Unlocking the car built for Homer. Wow, epic gamer moment. Alright, listen up you little sissy bitches, enough stalling. It's time we grit our teeth, strap in, strap on, and get down to the real grind of this game. Earning $1 million. Yeah, that's the only way to truly beat this bastard, and I'm gonna show you how it's done. To earn such a large chunk of change is a massive undertaking, trust me. Playing on the hard difficulty does give you a slight money increase, but reduced time, so you need to really learn your routes and execute them perfectly. Some characters will give you rewards for being a safe driver, but the real winners are those who crave destruction. Smashing through everything on the map grants you an additional $1,000 every time that you're successful. But that's a lot easier said than done when the laws of physics are so inconsistent that common destructible items are just sometimes brick walls that stop you dead in your tracks. Man, what's all that about? And even on my best runs, I only seem to average around the $10,000 to $12,000 range. As a kid, I'd always play as Professor Frink in the entertainment district because for some reason, it seems to be a lot easier to reach $20,000 per session, but even then, we are still a long way away from that 1 million milestone. But don't worry, I know a place. As if this game wasn't repetitive enough already, the first level has an excellent location in this alleyway. Pedestrians here always want to go to the same apartment and they always respawn, so you can simply drive back and forth for a never-ending cash flow. Hey, I never said it was going to be enjoyable, but profitable? Kind of, I guess. $20,000 in 20 minutes is okay, but that's only if you haven't slit your wrists due to how miserable this existence is. I'm 25 years old. Why am I doing this? Again, for the second time in my life. God, I'm worthless. Don't worry, because there is also an excellent loop to complete within the dam level, which is incredibly easy given that characters always want to go to the same locations, and both Apus are always eager for a lift. After about 30 minutes of doing this loop over and over and over again, you should have around only $50,000? Oh, what is it gonna take? Even using this cheat method, it would still take 10 hours to reach $1 million. That is just unfucking acceptable. Simpsons Road Rage gets 4 out of 10. It's mediocre, and the ending showcases that perfectly, as Burns just kind of forfeits the transit system and drops you in a hole. And that's it. For some reason, the Xbox version got an exclusive ending, which also includes Kang and Kodos talking about how boring the game was. What a cunt! Yeah, just take the piss out of my pathetic existence. May as well make fun of my tiny penis while you're at it, assholes. So, that is The Simpsons Road Rage. It tried its best to offer an evolution on the Crazy Taxi formula with a variety of gameplay enhancements, larger worlds, and of course, the addition of Simpsons influence helped it a lot. But the foundation it tried building upon simply didn't offer enough for any promising growth into the future. Honestly, two-player co-op would have saved this game. We got a competitive head-to-head mode, why not allow us to team up and earn additional money together? But my real question is, why did they opt for this instead of a kart racer? The Simpsons never got a kart racing game, which is just shocking to me. And I know everybody, including the developers, were thinking the same thing, that the kart racer genre was already bloated beyond belief in 2001, but with the fundamentals on display here, it couldn't have been any worse than this, surely not. Now, just as an additional treat to end off today's episode, let's turn our attention towards the Game Boy Advance port of Road Rage. Ever since I found out this game existed, I've really wanted to try it for myself, just to see how it compared with the version that I grew up with. So, what better time than now than to finally check it out? First impressions so far are off to a good start, and okay, wow, just look at this game. I've got to say that I'm stunned. Look at all of this Mode 7 popping off. This is excellent. The pseudo 3D visuals actually bring the levels to life on this inferior system. I was not expecting that. The gameplay is just the same, still fun despite the repetitive nature, controls are good, and the music is nice and vibrant as well. This is very enjoyable. Surprising, right? I thought I'd never want to see another taxi cab racer ever again, but here we are. The lack of any walls can make navigation a bit confusing, however. It'll even make your head spin at times. So some vertical walls and basic structures would be much appreciated. The Game Boy Advance port of Smashing Drive, another taxi racer, achieved impressive full 3D environments on the system. It was so ambitious, it even introduced fully realised interior locations which look awesome. While most 3D games on this system look like they were ripped straight from Star Fox on Super Nintendo, this is incredible to witness. Though the frame rate chugged quite a lot, so I can at least appreciate the trade-off with Road Rage, as this game runs really well and maintains that fun, addicting, fast pace and arcade gameplay of the original. Even better is the addition of Performance Mode, where the goal is to perform stunts specific to your passenger. So while Kent Brockman likes big jumps and Grandpa likes to hit objects, Milhouse wants you to run over innocent civilians on the street. Man, what a demented child. But while I personally tend to struggle with performance anxiety, this variation on the arcade format offers a much desired change in how the game is played. And you know what? It's fucking awesome. I wish we could have seen this in the console version, to be honest. And the best part is that the money you earn here contributes to your overall bank account, making the chore of reaching that $1 million mark a little more tolerable. So speeding through these levels has never been more enjoyable, and I'm very pleased to report that despite the limitations of the GBA, levels remain almost unaltered in comparison. The downtown maps are much the same, with the addition of a large freeway circling one of the courses. Evergreen Terrace is nearly a perfect recreation, while the dam has taken on some creative liberties with less dead ends and even includes secret areas. The mountain level still ends off with that huge jump over the gorge, and normally when you reach this part, you'd have to painstakingly backtrack through the map. Well, they've fixed it here with an alternate route back to the beginning area, which really helps you to get a lot more out of this one. And instead of the weak power plant map, this is just one of 3 or 4 different segments to the country road area, where we can also find vast farmland, beachland drives, and even a volcano, all linked together via tunnels. I am impressed. This is a massive location and without a doubt the best thing this game has to offer. Again, I am devastated that we couldn't experience this on console. You can even get a good look at the different maps within the extras menu, along with the opportunity to mess around with other interesting options. Mission mode is also back with a few familiar objectives, while most of them are switched up or take place in entirely unique environments, while other missions are totally original. This, my friends, is how you introduce variety into a game like this, or any game for that matter. Take the core mechanics and flip them on their head with outside of the box thinking. Krusty's Circus Challenge is a tough but incredibly rewarding level to conquer, and while all of these missions can still be beaten just as quickly as their console counterparts, at least we got to see something different and play a fun game for a change. Once you hit that $1 million goal, the Simpsons buy back the transit center from Mr. Burns and head home for a well-earned rest. Overall, Road Rage on the Game Boy Advance is, in a shocking turn of events, the superior version of the game by far, in my opinion. While it is still built from a crumbling foundation of limiting gameplay, this version treated system limitations as rules to break, delivering a graphically impressive game with several quality of life fixes and original enhancements that ultimately score this game a strong 5 out of 10. This is a surprisingly good game, so definitely check it out for yourself if you get the opportunity. But until next time, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and remember to share it with your friends and on social media. I'm Square Eyed Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.